Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at Blackbull Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at Blackbull Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. Get either the Essential Plus or Premium plans absolutely free. All you need to do is trade from one lot a month at Blackbull Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. Our sponsor Blue Guardian is the only prop firm that gives their traders a tool to protect them from hitting their max daily loss and over trading. It's super simple to use. Just set the Guardian Protector each day from your dashboard. Did you also know that they've just released an unlimited time evaluation with a 0 trading days requirement, giving you plenty of time to hit their low 8 and 4% targets, making it super fast to get funded. Plus, it's cheaper than the 40-day time limit evaluation. Check out the link and coupon in the description to get 10% off your next Blue Guardian evaluation.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Brinks Trades coming to you live with a quick, very, very quick breakdown as far as the charts for this week. It's a little bit outside my normal schedule, but I wanted to make sure that I still gave you guys a little bit of content here. So it's going to be a very, very quick video, and so hopefully you guys can check this out over the following week. So again, if you guys don't know who I am the resident, I guess, end of the seas analyst here for the Trading Nut podcast. And so I've had the opportunity to trade over the past decade or so. And actually this year, the end of this year will be 10 years fully trading the markets. At 2014, late 2014, early 2015 is when I first started. So been doing this for a while now. And hopefully, if you guys are stateside, hopefully you guys are having a good Father's Day, all that type of thing. So, or Father's Day weekend, rather. So, what I want to do really quickly is just get into the charts and break down a little bit about what I see the market doing this week. Again, we've had a few levels here. Looking at the dollar index that we wanted to see respected. Again, we're bearish on the overall trend. And let me just go to a different. Yeah, I've been looking at some other analysis. Okay, cool. So yeah, so looking at dollar index really quickly, we do ideally want to see the market find an opportunity to continue to drop to the downside. And so again, you can see consequent encroachment here respected. And so we're looking for the market to really kind of give us signs that the bearishness wants to set in. So jumping really quickly to the more important things in Nasdaq and NQ. Look at the weekly time frame. So looking at the weekly time frame on NQ, which is the mini futures for Nasdaq, you see our last week's target was this high right here, and we ended up taking that out going into let me jump down to the daily, and let me actually pull up NAS100. It's a little bit clearer for you guys, for me too. Boom. So our weekly target on Nasdaq was this high right here at 19,168. Again, the reason for that is that it's last week's high, right? And so we're looking for our weekly target, and that was exactly what we got. So again, I always make the disclaimer here that I'm actually a real trader, so I'm actually looking. So my charts always have notes on them from the week before. But yeah, so last week coming into the week, this was our weekly target. We wanted to see the all-time high of last week, or I guess all-time market high that was set at the beginning of last week at 19,160 area, get hit and taken out, and it ended up getting hit that day. So, or that week at the beginning of the half of the week on Tuesday, and so, really quickly looking at us taking out that high. My students know that when I trade, and my weekly objectives are taken out, then I tend not to look for that any trading for the rest of the week. But going into last week, again, we had this overall imbalance here. We saw these levels, these market levels here respected. And so we drew out a few levels, one being this weekly order block, the top end of this fair value gap here, and then the low of last week. We wanted to see the market respect these levels, retest and or respect these levels. So that's exactly what we got. I was able to net out a good trade that actually went live. If you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can see that trade. Again, it's youtube.com/Brinks Trades. My profile picture is a cartoon of me. I'm probably the only Brinks on Instagram. So, or on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, social. So I probably am not going to have a hard time getting found. So Brinks Trades, but I go live a couple times a week with live trading sessions. And again, I'm not always as vocal about like, walking through each step of the trade, but you guys can see a little bit of my trading process. And again, it'll make sense to the people who either trade with my style or are my direct students. So, I really do it for them, but I also really do it to document, the process and really show people that obviously, even though there's a lot of facades in the industry, trading is something real. And, I'm one of the people that can do what I say I can do. So, that's why I do that. So again, we saw the market dip down here, retest this old daily fair value gap, and then really just take off. And we pretty much shot through this high. I mean, we went on a crazy run with the beginning half of, or the later half of last week, really just killing the market, looking for highs. And so ideally, what I would like to see here is, I can't really trade against this. And you guys know I've been saying this pretty much for like the past year almost, this bull market that we're currently in. You can't really trade against the overall bull market. So you have to kind of stick with this because a lot of times these things will run higher than you think they are. So, or think that they're capable of going. So you should never really short a rising market in a long-term perspective. Obviously there's going to be short-term opportunities or counter trend opportunities that pull up, but you shouldn't be looking to, your analysis here should not be like, oh, we've risen so much, we have to go down and we have to see the market correct all the way to these lows. No, let the market kind of show us its hand first, and then we can start making long-term strategies. But as of now, I'm still looking to take things to the high and really, keep taking things to new highs and really just have a bullish mindset. So again, coming into next week, if we drop down to the 4 hours, a couple levels that I'm looking at, I want to see the market really run back to. In a best case scenario, I'd love to see the market do something like this. And this could be, again, this could be a 1 week thing. It could be a 2 week thing or multiple weeks thing. But I would love to see the market do something like this where we run down and take things a little higher. Jumping to the hourly time frame. Again, specifically looking at this area for a few reasons that my students will know. If you guys are one of my students, again, hop on here and, feel free to break it down on your own and say like, okay, well, what is Blake saying here? But if you're not, hey, this is kind of an overall just arching idea of where I think the market's going to go. So ideally, I think that the market could sweep these lows, take out. There's a few levels that I'm looking at specifically. Again, this low of 19,497. This low at 19,434. And then this overarching gap right here. And so these are the three levels that I would like to see the market potentially run to start the week off in an effort to continue to go higher. Obviously, we're pretty much at the top of the market right now. So if we don't see anything happen like this, if we don't see a genuine pullback like this, then I probably will end up just sitting this week out. I need to see some deeper retracements and deeper runs for liquidity before we start to target the other side. There's nothing you can really do at the top of the run. Again, ideally, if there's a bearish setup, I'm looking to continue to go long. If there's nothing, I'm okay with sitting on my hands, right? And so this month has been a very quiet month, I guess. I've only really taken a couple positions, and I've only really tried to take a couple positions. But if you guys know from like my last few streams, right? Like my month of May was, I made about $7,500, something like that, about $7,000 in the month of May, just trading 2 setups, and that's just on the funded accounts. That doesn't count everything else, but 7,000 on these funded accounts that I'm trading through Apex. because I waited for two really good setups and took that, right? So you guys can make, you know, I can't guarantee that you make money, but if you're looking for trading, it doesn't have to be an everyday thing, right? I teach everybody that I teach that you need to be a sniper in the market instead of like, a guy that's shooting off volume shots, right? You need to look for your one setup or your two setups to get in, get out of the market. And that one setup might come very quickly. It might come at the end of, the month. It might come at the beginning of the month. It might come at the beginning of the week, the beginning of the day, like whatever it is. And so, if that's something that you're disciplined in, you're going to be waiting for your good shots. And there's plenty of days where I'm trading that I'm not even looking at the charts at all, and I'm not even taking a position. I'm always looking at the charts. But there's plenty of days where I'm trading that I'm not necessarily going to push the button, and so just looking for the high optimal setups, the ones that I feel very strongly about, and let the hammer fly. So again, this is what I want to see in Nasdaq. I would love to see a retracement back to the 19,497 500 level, 19,436 level, or the 19,380 level. And most likely the market will run to one of these levels. So ideally, it's not like I'm just picking three random levels out and I'm saying I'm going to buy this level, I'm going to buy this level, buy this level. I'm looking for a very particular checklist of things to happen at one of these levels, and most likely the market will only do it at one of these levels. So it kind of negates a lot of potential trading setups right there. But ideally, again, bullish on Nasdaq. Let's hop into NQ. I'm sorry, ES. And we're going to use US500 because it's a little bit less choppy. Ideally, same thing here, right? So, I mean, we've been in this really consolidated fashion. Well, let me step back and go to the daily. Last week, again, our weekly target was this level here. And we saw that get taken out very early in the week. And our new high is here. There's a couple of things here. Actually, if I zoom in, again, my students should know exactly what these are right here and why we want to see the market head for these highs. So we saw a couple things, right, since the market took off. So Friday, Monday, again, we took out this high pretty early in the week. On Tuesday, we traded back into, we formed an old imbalance here. Traded back into it, respected, consequent encroachment, boom, right? And now we're heading towards new high. So ideally, what I would love to see, if we jump down to the 4 hours, I would love to see the market really retest. Well, hop down the hour. Yeah, I'd love to see the market really run back for this level here one more time and then continue to go higher. That's the ideal setup. Again, you can't always promise the exact setup or the exact weekly play, but ideally I would love to see this happen for the week, right? So I'd love to see the market take out that low, continue to go higher. If it gives me this, it's a good opportunity for me according to what I trade. And so obviously all of my trading is done on lower time frames. It's just an overarching analysis, but for the weekly playbook, love to see this happen. So ideally, again, the market run for that low and take out these highs. And that low is sitting at 5,405. And again, the weekly high is 5,447. So something like that is what I want to see the market do over the next week. Let's see. So, and then let me go to ES really quick, or I'm sorry, Dow Jones real quickly, and then I'll look at comments and questions. It's not my usual day to stream, so I'm trying to be very cautious and wary of people's time. So I'm going to be in and out today. Nothing too crazy. If I go to the weekly time frame, our weekly target was this high right here. We didn't quite hit that. we've kind of been in this consolidation channel. I don't really feel comfortable really trading Dow Jones out of all three of them. I feel the least comfortable with, especially with this given week, because we've just been ranging, consolidating. There's a couple of things that I want to see happen. Again, we're still pretty much in the same place we were last week, and the fact that we held this high and really didn't go make any new highs over the past week, and especially specifically like take out all-time highs, kind of lets me know that we could see a deeper retracement pretty soon. Usually what happens is the market, there's a thing called divergence. And so what that means is that if the market, if one of these pairs, and whenever you look at strongly correlated pairs like Dow Jones, US500, and Nasdaq, they're strongly correlated, means they usually flow together in the same direction. Whenever you see those things kind of not play out, and one of them tends to not follow the other two, it's a sign that we could be seeing a reversal or a deeper retracement. So ideally, I want to see the market do something like this and take off and go the other way. So I'm still seeing that. I'm even building a stronger case for that because of this. Again, my students will know why I'm looking at this to continue to break. So I would love to see, ultimately, I think we're still bullish, but I think we have to dip down to these lows. And I'm specifically looking at this zone right here, this imbalance here. If we go to the weekly time frame. If we go to the weekly time frame, I'm looking at this level right here and potentially mitigating the rest of that imbalance at 37,380 for the market to continue to go up and go higher. We could see a deeper run back to this imbalance as well, but it's the primary target where I'd be looking for price to turn around at. So again, that gap that really starts at 37,380 to go back up and could take out this high. So that's what I'm looking to see. Piano world. So US30 is essentially Dow Jones, right? So they're the same pair. They run the same. So if you look here, if I drag this over, you're going to see pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same. This one's a little slightly different because it took out this high. But ideally, I'm still bullish. Like I want to see the market. It's actually a little more telling, but it's kind of the same thing. Ideally, I want to see the market run for this low, continue to go higher. So I think we could be setting ourselves up for a counter trend week where we just get a huge week of price just moving down. It could also be just a setup. So sometimes these weekly plays that I give out, they don't always play out in the same week, right? So we're looking at these higher time frames. These could be daily, or these could be weekly analysis. Like it could take a few weeks for these things to play out, and we kind of update things as we go. But ideally, this is what I want to see: the market really take out 30, this level, and continue to go higher. So that's what I'm seeing. So yeah, hopefully this kind of helps. And so let me hop in to look at some of these questions. He says, "Hey man, I watch you all the time, but on the recorded, how are you? Did you cover NQ yet in oil? Thank you for your time." So I don't trade oil. I'm going to spare that. But yeah, I will go back to NQ really quickly since you are joining me live and you never get a chance to see that. But ideally, again, I want to see the market run for, let me go NAS100. Looking at a couple levels here. I'm looking at, where's the one I just had? There we go. I think. Down to the 4 hour. Yeah, there we go. So ideally, I want to see the market do something like this. Now I want to see the market run for one of these levels and give us really, an opportunity to continue to go long. I am pointing out the fact that we are sitting currently at the all-time high. So there is a chance where the market could just potentially just shoot up and keep going higher like this, right? There's always that chance. If that happens, then I'm not trading this week. I want to see the market react exactly how I predict in order for me to take the setups, right? So the market can always continue to do this, right? And ideally, long term, this is what we want to see the market. We want to see the market continue to rise. What I'm looking for is the market to run for one of these particular levels to turn around. And if we get that, then I'll start to look for trading opportunities this week. If we don't, then I'm kind of just sitting on my hands unless we get maybe a large run up and a trade back down, like an area where we can pull back, where we can target. So ideally, that's what I'm looking for this week on Nasdaq. And so these levels are 19,496, 19,437, and this ultimate fair value gap at 19,382. So ideally, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm aiming for. And hopefully we get something like that this week. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I got a couple minutes so I can stay on, I think. Great indicator of a bullish week, small retracement. Yeah, so I mean, ideally, and sometimes, I mean, sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, ideally with like CPI, you know, that is always a good indicator of growth. So it's good to look at those numbers as well. But ideally, I'm just looking at the charts. A lot of the times, like I do consider news analysis, but I really use it to see how the market's going to run to liquidity. To be completely honest, like I hardly ever pay attention to the news numbers. I just look back and I stay out of the market during those events. So, yeah, hopefully that kind of makes sense. So everybody's been asking about gold. Man, I don't get it, y'all. I don't get the gold fascination. Is everybody like out of everybody watching? And I'll do an analysis on gold, but I'm curious now. Who in here actively trades gold? Like, if you guys are watching right now, you guys actively trade gold. Add it. Put a comment in the box and say, hey, like I actively trade gold. I'll show you something. And it's okay. I'm gonna do the analysis, but I'm just curious now because like every week I get tons of requests to do gold, and I'm just really curious who in here actively trades gold. As far as the analysis goes on gold, I'll do this. Ideally, I'm bullish on this, trading in this gap. Sort of block here. There's a couple levels. I'm looking at this in the weekly time frame because I need to get a better sense of what's going on, and we're just consolidated. So ideally, I want to see the market run for a couple of levels. We're sitting at right now. We're sitting inside of an old imbalance right here. So what I want to see happen is the market to continue to respect consequent encroachment of this imbalance here. So I really would like to see price stay above that 2,257 level. We could see a dip though. We could see the market run for this level and wick off it, and that's okay too. I'll draw what I'm saying in a second. We could see something like this, where we dip below this level quickly and wick off it on a higher time frame. So we could spend like a day or two below there and just kind of continue to go higher. There's a couple things here that kind of let me know that this is where ideally the level that we definitely want to respect. Again, this order block right here. So I want to see something like that. And then breaking this down to the daily time frame, There's a couple of price signatures here. I'm gonna just extend this to cover that zone right there, that daily imbalance. So ideally, this is the range that I would like to see price stay in. We're getting a lot of consolidation on gold. So ideally, um, if you are a student of mine, you know what happens when we see consolidation and what we should be expecting. So 2000, that 2,214 level is an area that I want to see price respect on the way to the long-term target, which is the current high at 2,457, something like that. Again, this is very congested, so I wouldn't even be trying to. I never trade against the trend. So I guess letting you guys in on a secret. I don't trade against the trend a lot of the time. Majority of the time, it's just not how I trade. And I know the majority of the people, usually, if you look back at most of your losses, you're trading against the trend in some way, shape, or form. You're either trading against the overall trend or you're trading against the daily trend. And so when I see these moves, I'm not trying to trade this bearishness, especially if my overall long-term projected is bullishness. I'm waiting for price to get to these levels, and then on these small time frames, give me exactly what I want to see before I start to look for bullishness. So this is the waiting game. The pullback is the waiting game. The execution is always on the move that I'm in that's in line with my overall trend. So yeah. So hopefully this helps. If you guys have any other questions, just let me know. And then also, if you feel like Sundays, put a couple comments in the box or in the chat if you think that Sundays is actually a better day for me to do these analysis. I know Saturday is a day that a lot of people are kind of like out doing stuff, and they're not as like in front of a laptop or chilling. They're usually out and about on Saturdays. So if if Sundays is a better day, let me know. Drop a comment in the box or join the chat, the mentorship chat. The Tickups chat. And this is basically my free Telegram that I do all my updated analysis on. So if you guys are interested in seeing, again, we know the markets are constantly changing. So there's always opportunity for the markets to change over time. So sometimes I do updating analysis throughout the week. And so if you guys are interested in being a part of that, just join that and stay up to date with everything that is, Brinks related. So AO, they said pull back to what level? And I said, I think we're talking about gold. Yeah, there's a lot of gold traders in here. I don't really get it, but I'm looking for price to respect to one of two levels. The first level is 2,249. The second level is 2,224 on gold, if that's what you're talking about. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. So yeah, so if you guys have any questions at all, I'll stay on for a couple minutes, but then obviously feel free to hit me in the chat. So All right, US30. So I did my US30 analysis already. So if you go back and look and watch the replay on this, you'll be able to see the US30 analysis. Cool. All right. Well, appreciate the time, guys. And then if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, peace.